If you are like me and love to stay updated on everything gaming, then you would have been tuning into the 2023 Game Awards. A Game Awards which saw Baldur's Gate 3 take home Game of the Year over fantastic games such as Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, and Gollum, which caused a bit of an uproar.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Gollum had one of the best videos of all time.
But during those Game Awards, we also got a new trailer for the finals. And at the end of that trailer, every viewer was surprised to see the words, "Play Now." Right then, hundreds of thousands of players raced their systems to download one of the most fun-looking games our dented heads have ever seen.
Is there a dent in my head? Dude! My head has a dent!
The finals' fast-paced combat and destruction-oriented gameplay made every Battlefield Bad Company fan remember the good old days. YouTubers and Twitch streamers left and right were praising the game up and down, swearing it's one of the best multiplayer games of the year. So why has the finals lost 85% of its player base after only 3 months? Today we're going to explore that and try to find out why the finals is failing. In order to know why the game failed, we must first discuss what it actually is. For those who didn't play it or check it out themselves, the finals is a PvPvP game, where teams of 3 fight over a vault of cash, and whoever has the most cash at the end of the round wins. You have a choice between 3 classes who each bring something different to the table. The Heavy has the most health out of all the characters and can basically be described as the team's destruction specialist, being able to carry an RPG as well as C4 to blow anything around them to pieces. This destruction is a huge part of the game and can help you both attack and defend cash vaults. Want to attack a vault above you? Shoot the floor out and have the enemy team drop into a perfectly laid trap. Or start a cash out, then drop a building on top of it, making it easier to defend from other teams. The Heavy also has abilities allowing him to go even deeper in destruction, with a charge that rips through walls, or you can go more defensive with a shield that blocks enemy bullets. He even has a goo gun that can put up barricades. Because of this, the Heavy is a vital class for every team. Medium is essentially the support class, boasting a pretty respectable 250 health, as well as the option to take a healing beam to heal teammates, or a guardian turret giving you and your team an extra gun to shoot enemies. Medium can also bring a jump pad and zip line, allowing the team to engage enemies from all different directions. For those mediums that want to be a lone wolf though, you have the option of reconnaissances, which gives you free wall hacks, allowing you to get the jump on anyone. The medium is the best class in the game for one reason though, and that is a little gadget called the defibrillator. You see, when a teammate dies, they leave behind a little statue, and in order to bring the teammate back, you have to revive them from that statue. But that takes time and can leave you vulnerable. The defibrillator allows you to revive a teammate instantaneously, and also gives that teammate a small window of invincibility, allowing them to jump right back into the fight with a small penalty of being revived at half health. Good thing Medium has the healing beam though, allowing revived teammates to quickly get all their health back. Because of this, Ranked is mostly a game of 3 stack mediums, all carrying defibrillators, giving them the ability to quickly revive each other when killed. Lastly, we have the Light class, which is a hit and run class dealing small chunks of damage to players before using their fast movement to reposition, allowing them to take down larger enemies without even being seen. Their abilities greatly help them with this, allowing them to go invisible, grapple around the map, and quickly take out enemy gadgets with glitch grenades. Lights are very useful classes against enemies that like to cover the cash outs with things like turrets and mines. Yet their extremely small health pool means you'll be doing less of this, and more of this. Because of this, Lights are not really taken in a lot of higher ranked play, as they're just too much of a liability and don't offer enough team utility against teams that don't focus on gadgets. Now, while this game did have a little bit of a rocky start with some server issues, as well as having some glitches like vaults clipping under the map, making it impossible to start a cash out when in the game, these issues were not far late enough to affect the players right off the bat. Instead, I believe the dip of players can be contributed to the following 5 issues, which compounded onto each other to make the game not one you want to stick around for. Now, I say all this before the release of Season 2, so hopefully Embark Studios can make some much needed changes and bring back some of its player base. But for now, let's dive into reason number 1. I believe the first reason for the drop in players is the sheer lack of marketing for the game. Other than that initial Game Awards announcement trailer, I haven't seen any advertisement for the game. Nothing on YouTube, nothing on TikTok, no light, medium, and heavy body pillows to snuggle up with at night. I mean, come on, if Mass Effect can do it, so can the finals. It's pretty obvious that the finals wanted streamers to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the game, and to an extent that did happen. Streamers like Shroud, XQC, and Tim the Tatman all jumped in and sung these games' praises. The problem with relying on streamers, though, is that many of these games are just small detours for them. Tim the Tatman quickly went back to playing Call of Duty, Shroud went back to PUBG, and XQC went back to adding nothing to other people's content.
That's First Officer for recap.
Because of this, less and less people were hearing about this game, resulting in current players leaving and no new players joining to replace them. For most games, this is not a problem, but in a multiplayer-only game like the finals, this can have a very negative effect, like a long queue time, and can lead to repetitive gameplay as the only people left in the game are the tryhards using only the best guns and equipment in every game. Compile this onto a game that is already not very friendly towards solo players means that if your friends stop playing, you definitely will too. To expand on the solo player experience a little bit, I want to focus on the matchmaking. As a mostly solo player, I had a very negative experience with this game. I had many matches where it would fail to find teammates for me, leaving me with no chance of winning, as every death is a team wipe, resulting in me losing 30% of any money I had somehow earned. And if I did leave, I would get banned from ranked play for abandoning a match in progress. This alone made me hesitant to even load into a game because I was never sure if I would actually be given teammates. When I was lucky enough to have someone to fight alongside with, it was hard to synergize and coordinate with them because of the way loadouts work in the game. You see, in the finals, you must set your loadout before you enter a game. So me being a solo player, I was never able to adjust my loadout to what my team needed because I didn't know who was going to be on my team. There would be many times where I would load in and see that the team desperately needed a healing beam, but because I picked the Guardian turret before the game, I can't change what would be better for the team. The game does allow you to change to a select few gadgets you pick before the game, but this is not enough to allow you to be prepared for any match. Once loaded into a game, you can switch to these reserve items you brought, allowing for some counterplay, or to switch to a different weapon or playstyle. Yet when playing in ranked playlists, this is no longer possible, meaning that there is no opportunity for counterplay on an enemy team, taking away lots of freedom from the player. Pair this with a lack of a chat box, as well as a quick chat system that is very surface level, means that it's hard to communicate with the teammates that you do have. Matchmaking also takes a bit of a hit here because of a rank system that doesn't actually matter. In the finals, you will start at the lowest rank possible, working your way up. There is no D rank, so if you play long enough, you will eventually become the highest rank, meaning it's not reflective of your actual skill. Instead, the finals uses hidden MMR to measure your skill and pair you with other players. This is a litany of its own problems though, as you can have a handful of lucky games where you play really well, only be paired against top 500 teams who absolutely destroy you in the next game. This made me not really want to play the game since I really had no option to either sit down and play casually, or try out new weapons without some tryhard gunning me down every time I load in. Pair this with no private lobbies and a very bare bones shooting range means the only way to practice is by playing against enemies that are better than you, and seeing the lose screen again and again because of this is not fun, which I believe led to a lot of players leaving. Finishing up this section is something that I want to give the finals props for, as it has been fixed, yet it'd be silly of me to pretend like it didn't play a huge part in players leaving the game, and that's cheaters. For pretty much all of December through the start of November, cheating was a huge problem for this game, ranging from hardcore cheaters with aimbot and wall hacks to more subtle cheats like playing on a PC, but running a script to make the game think you're using a controller to give you aim assist. This made it almost impossible to play the game, as everyone and their mom was using these dirty tactics. While these cheaters have been addressed, I believe it's too little too late, as many games like Palworld and Helldivers 2 have come out since then, and have absolutely taken the world by storm, giving even less reasons for people to go back to the finals. When the finals was seeing its peak player base, its game mode selection was very far from being diverse, offering only 2 game modes for quick play, while ranked only saw 1 game mode. Combine this with only having 4 maps to play on means those who do check out the game won't see much. While the finals has added some new limited time modes, it simply just isn't enough to get things feeling fresh. And those game modes have been the only thing added. No new gadgets, no new weapons, and no new maps, meaning nothing really changed. The players that stick to rank saw nothing new, as the 2 modes added are only available in quick play. This problem extends into customization as well, as there just isn't enough content to make your personalized character stand out from the crowd. That is unless you open up your wallet. With this being a free-to-play game, I will acknowledge that they gotta make money somewhere, and monetization is a great way to do that, and a look into my Fortnite locker proves that I have no problem spending money in video games. But the monetization in this game seems very predatory, boasting high price points on even the smallest of things. I mean seriously, who's going to pay $4 for a monocle, or $3 for some sandals, and even worse $8 for a watch that you can't even see with most outfits. Of course, you could also spend $10 for the Battle Pass and get a whole slew of items. If you have the time, of course. And for this game, you'll need lots of it, as this Battle Pass in particular is one of the most grindy I've ever seen. I would say it rivals the early days of Halo Infinite. At least with Halo Infinite, you can continue to earn rewards even after the season ends. This means that if you want to get anything of value in terms of customization, you'll be playing the same game mode over and over on the same maps, over and over, which is a surefire way to burn out all of your players, and even the diehard fans may look to greener pastures just to feel something new. With this being a multiplayer game, making sure the sandbox is well balanced is extremely important. However, I feel this is definitely a place where the finals fall short. From nukes that can destroy an entire team with little to no effort, to the 3-stack medium teams with defibrillators making fights take forever, the game is just not built well, which is another big reason why we're seeing this decline. You either dominate with the meta weapons and tactics and get bored of the repetitiveness, or you get so frustrated from dying to it that you just stop playing. The way you unlock these weapons makes this even worse, as there is no level up unlocks for weapons or gadgets. Instead, with each game you play, you will earn in-game currency which can be used to buy whatever you want, making it extremely easy to get the best weapons in the game very early. These meta strategies are very hard for new players to avoid as well, because the game has one of the shortest tutorials I've ever played, meaning many new players will consult YouTube for guides just trying to figure out how to play. I mean, some of the most fun I've had in this game is throwing office chairs at people WWE style, yet nowhere in the tutorial does it tell the player that they can do this.
Kingston momentarily now. Kaiser, oh my God!
Nor does it tell the player that there are quick chat functions, which is why nobody ever uses them in game, making it hard to communicate with teammates. Finishing off the video, I think the biggest reason people are leaving this game is just because of how frustrating it is to play. Its winner-take-all model rewards teams who sit in a corner and wait to third-party a team once they have burned through all their utility fighting other players. And the fact that there are 4 teams of 3 in tournament modes makes this even worse, as defending teams have to fight off 3 whole teams with no rewards for defending the cash out 95% of the time. Very rarely do you want to be the aggressive team in this game, as getting a team wipe means you lose 30% of your team's cash, which can often be the difference in winning or losing a round. No team wants to be the ones who get to the vault or start the cash out first, as you immediately have a target painted on your back. In this game, it's much easier and more rewarding to be the last team to a fight and pick off the scraps, meaning the best way to win is also the most boring. The game also has pretty bad hit detection, as I would be killed by enemies while I was behind a wall, or way past where they could see me.
Huh?
This can be extremely frustrating, as respawn timers can take up to 30 seconds, which is half of a cash out timer, meaning that one death can be the reason you win or lose a game. All of these problems compound into a game that can best be described by the phrase, wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. Allowing the player so many different ways to play, from throwing office chairs to putting turrets on trash cans to blowing up every single wall you see, is truly amazing. Yet with only 1 core game mode and 4 maps, the game is simply too repetitive to give the player any reason to stick around. Again, this is still the beginning of the game, and I do genuinely hope Season 2 can turn things around. Yet it's not looking good, as we'll have to compete with games like Helldivers 2, Power World, and the upcoming Star Wars Battlefront Revival, which releases on the same day as Season 2. Unfortunately, I don't think many players will go back, as it will just be too little, too late. As always, I'm Soapy, and thanks for listening.